Good morning, everyone. I think we have going to do book review today. Right? The order of the book review has already shared with you. Do you need time to look back at your book review, or can we start? Yes and no can help the teacher. Do you need time to look at your book review, or you are prepared with it and we can start? It's okay if you. Yes, a bit time if possible. Thank you, Naisargi, for answering. Let's do one thing. 10 minutes should be enough. Can we start our book review? The first person to give the book review, we can start by 9:50, 50, or 9:55, somewhere around that time. Yeah, fine. So I'm giving you some time. Please look at your book review so that you can prepare because it's going to give you marks. Okay, you've got marks for it. Fine. So some time given to you, and then we'll start by 9:50, 9:55 in between. So are we ready now? What we can do is we can start with the first person is enrollment number 199. Sorry, 119. That's cave. Okay, whenever you are ready, you can display your PPT and you can start. Okay, even if you want to take 2-3 minutes, it's still fine. I cannot listen to what you are saying. You may start by 10 o'clock.
Ma'am, I can present my screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I start.
Yes, please start. We can see your screen and you can start.
The book is a selected short story of Ravindranath Tagore. The author of the book is Ravindranath Tagore. Uh, Publisher date is 1970. The publisher is Samira Book Publisher. Edition is the first edition 2017. The genre of the book is fiction, and page of the book is 336. ISBN is 9780007925582. Rabindranath Tagore is a Bengali poet. Rabindranath Tagore's writing was innovative in Bengali literature. At the time for its focus on daily life, his short story motivated us and often depicted exponential circumstance and critical moments in the lives of everyday Bengali people. The be they rich or poor, man or woman, and even living or dead. Throughout the story, Tagore engages themes of domestic roles, the supernatural, and class. Sometimes these stories have conclusive. This story tell us what we have do in our life and clear morals, and sometimes they are very or mysterious parables. They don't seem to end or have any direct message. First, we read the story, then we can understood the message of this story. And summary and analysis of this book is uh, uh, in this book there are many stories like punishment, Kabuliwala, the postmaster, the hungry stone, through throatlessness, profit and loss, the living and the dead, wishes granted, Tara Tara Prasanna's fame and skeletons. The major the major character of this book is Ravindranath Tagore. My favorite character is the Ravindranath Tagore because he was the first Bengali writer to evaluate the short story to serious art from. Tagore easily intermediate start realism and poetic idealism in his story, which reflected the contemporary life in rural and urban Bengal. Ravindranath Tagore also write our national anthem. General of the book is fiction. I like this book the most. I like this book. The most favorite part of this book is the postmaster tells the story of a functionary of the British government from Calcutta who is sent to the countryside to set up a post office. There, he developed a close relationship with an orphan girl who he begins to teach how to read. But after failing ill, he quits his job to return to Calcutta. The orphan girl asks to be taken with him, but the callously refuses. She is heartbroken and hold out a hope that he will return for her. But the postmaster effectively shrugs her off. In one of Tagore's most more exceptionally a supernatural story, The Hungry Stone. A man tells a story being sent to Hyderabad as a tax collector, but spending most of his night in a haunted palace where he is sent back in time 250 years every night in his dream, taking part in decadent and lustful royal court. The haunted palace tries to consume his soul, but the story ends before we can learn how he accepted that fate. Anyone who loves short story should read this book, or you are missing out on a master of the craft. Some of the stories are stronger than other. It's true, but that is true of any short story collection. Some of my particular favorites are the Tara Prasanna fame, wealth surrenders, Kabuliwala, a problem solved, uh, Thak Thak Thakurda, the hungry stones, and the gift of sight. The stories are all quite short and can be read in a sitting, which is good because many of them are best appreciated as whole entities. Anyone who loves the short story should read this book and also read the other people of this book. The rating of this book is 4.5 out of 5.
Thank you, Care. Do we have any feedback for him? Fine. It was nicely done. But a suggestion that you can keep in mind for other presentation or subjects, other subjects is do not keep all the information on the slide. Keep some information with you. Otherwise, what will happen is that the audience, once they read the slide, they'll not be interested in listening to what you are saying. So if you can keep some information on your book with you when you are making the presentation instead of keeping everything on the slide, okay? Otherwise, it is very nicely done. Okay, the next person we have is enrollment number 118, Kevin.
Yes, ma'am. I present my screen.
Yeah, you present your screen. I'll mute myself, otherwise, it is creating an echo. Okay.
Ma'am, visible?
Yes, it is visible.
My book name is Selected Short Story of Swami Vivekananda. Swami, this book is author is Adhyaksa and Advaita Sharma. And this book is all right reserved. This book is a two edition, first print edition, and his date is July 2008. First ebook edition, and his date is March 2060. And this book is ISBN number is 9788175053052, and other ISBN number is 9788175058323. And this book is a motivational book. Swami Vivekananda, his life and personality. The story about Swami Vivekananda life and personality. Regal majestic figure of command in presidency, vast learning and deep insight. Swami Vivekananda was barely 3 years
Kevin,
old when he created a. Yes, ma'am.
your voice is echoing a lot. If you can, mute and then unmute and do something, because we cannot listen to what you are saying properly. There's a huge echo being
Okay, ma'am.
created. Yeah.
Now is clear.
I think there is still an echo. What you can do is you can leave the meeting and rejoin, probably, so that, because otherwise
Okay,
the
ma'am.
whole activity will not be nice. Okay. We'll wait for you. Don't worry.
Hello, ma'am. It's clear.
A little clear than before, no problem.
The story about Swami Vivekananda, his life and personality. A regal, majestic figure of commanding presence, vast learning, and deep insight of Swami Vivekananda was barely three, 30 years old when he created a stir at the World Parliament of Religious in Chicago in 1893. He is perhaps best known his speech, which began with the words "Sister and Brothers of America," in which he introduced Hinduism at Parliament in the words religion in the Chicago. He was as the colleges of strange. He returned of India, his confident, love, and manliness. Swami Vivekananda was born on Narendranath Dutt in Calcutta in respectable middle class family. His father was Vishwanath Dutt, who was an attorney and a lover of arts and literature. On the other hand, Rendra's mother, Puneswari Devi, was a piteous, kind, and hearted lady, devoted to the Hindu traditionals. My favorite major is the Swami Vivekananda. The Swami Vivekananda Gurus was Swami Ramakrishna Paramhans. He looked at just like of ordinary man, with nothing remarkable about him. He used the most simple languages, and I thought, can this man be great teacher? Swami Vivekananda said, crept near to him and asked him this question. I have been asking others all of my life. Swami Vivekananda said, do you believe in God, sir? Brahman said, yes. He replied, can you prove it, sir? Yes. How? Because I see him just as I see you here, only in much intenser sense. This impressed me at once. I began to go to that man, and after that day, and I actually saw that religion could be given. One touch, one glance can change a whole life. Um, Vivekananda conducted hundreds of public and private lecture and classes. Uh, Hindu philosophy in the United States, England, and Europe. In India, Vivekananda is regarded as patriotic sant, and his birthday is celebrated as National Youth Day. This book is motivational book. The motivational story was while Swami Vivekananda was in America, some boys were standing on the bridge and trying to shoot at hells that were floating in the water. They failed almost at every try. Vivekananda, who was watching them from a distance, went close to them, took the gun, and fired 12 times. And every time he fired, he hit the eagles. In inquisitivity, boys asked him how he did it. He replied, whatever you are doing, put your whole mind on it. If you are shooting, your mind should be only one target. Then you will never miss. If you are learning your lesson, think only of the lesson. In my country, boys are taught to do this. I like this book. My favorite part of this book was the fearless. Swami Vivekananda was 8 years old. This incident happened. He loved to dangle it down from the champak tree in his friend compound. One day he was climbing the tree and an old man approached him and asking him not to climb the tree. The old man was probably scared that Swami could fall and break his limbs or what, just being protective about the champak flowers. When the kids questioned him why, the old man told him that there was a ghost living on the tree and it would hurt him and break his neck if climbed the tree again. Swami nodded and break his neck if he climbed the tree again. Swami, the not so convinced 8-year-old, climbed the tree again. All of his friends were scared and asked him why he was doing it despite knowing that he hurt. He laughed and said, "What a silly fellow you are. If the old grandfather's story was true, then my neck would have been broken long ago. Now that's exponential common sense for an yet us old, isn't it?" Similarly, the Swami also wanted students to cultivate willpower. According to him, willpower. According to him, willpower is developed when the current and expression of while we are brought under control and become faithful. Willpower is necessary not only to conduct the learning process, but also to strengthen one's character. I would recommend this book to reader who required a little support in life to come to try and understand the worth of hard work. In inspiration, people to try new ways of exploring things and this turning failures into success. I would rate this book 5 out of 5 because this book is very motivational book. It gives example from the life of middle class common man who was talented and dreamed of bigger things in life. The books gives the hope of readers that dreams do come true if you work continuously towards fulfilling your dreams. I would like to quote a Swami Vivekananda here. In a conflict between the heart and brain, follow your heart.
Thank you, Kevin. Again, the same thing I would like to tell that I told Keur, that keep some information with you. But I really like the way you quoted from the book. You gave a quotation so that the people could understand. Examples provided were really nice. One more small thing to take care, it's a PowerPoint, so don't use paragraphs, use bullet points. Right? Otherwise, nicely done. Appreciated. Next person we have is enrollment number 120, Shubham.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, screen is visible.
Yes, Shubham, screen is visible.
Book name is Think Fast and Slow. Book of author is Daniel Kahneman. Publication date is 25 October 2011. Publisher is Ferrer, Treos or Gioros. Edition is first edition. Genre of non-fiction. Number of pages book is 499. Summary. The book summarizes research that Kahneman performed during the decade, often in collaboration with the almost reverse sky. It helps you expert self-control and deliberately focus your attention. This system is at work when you are meeting friends and trying to spot them in a huge crowd of the people. The availability heuristic is mental shortcut that occur when people make judgment about the probability of event on the basis of how easy it
think of an example. The availability heuristic operate on the notation that if you can think of it, it must be important. The availability of consequently associated with an action is related positively to perception. Sometimes the heuristic is beneficial, but the frequency at which events come to mind are usually not accurate representation of the probability of such event in real life. Personal opinion. I recently finished reading Think Fast and Slow, a book on the behavior, physiology, and decision making by Daniel Kahneman. This book contains some profoundly important concepts around how people make decisions. It will help you understand why humans something make error in judgment and how to look sign that yourself may be about make system one error. Here are some most important take your book. People often create flow expression for the past event. There are two systems. System one is fast and system two is slow. Good story provide a simple and coherent account of the people, action and intention. You are always ready to interpret behavior as general propensity or personality traits course that you can readily make to affect recommendation. In the highly anticipate thinking fast and slow, Kahneman takes our groundbreaking tour of the mind and explain the two systems that drive the way we think. System one fast and emotional, and system two is slower and more logical. Kahneman exposes the extraordinary capability and also the fault and biases of the fast thinking and reveals and the perceptive influence of the intuitive impression on our thought and behavior. The impact of loss aversion and overconfidence on the corporate strategy, the difficulty of the predicting what will make happy in the future, the challenge of property framing risk at work and home, the profound effect of biases on everything from playing stock market and planning the next vacation. The two systems work together to shape and our judgment and decision. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shubham. That was nice. Uh, Advice is to make a use of a paralanguage. Pause wherever it is possible so the audience can grasp what you are trying to say. Right. Next presentations, do take care about it. The next person that we have is enrollment number 117, Yash.
It is visible, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
So the, the name of the book is The Rich Dad Poor Dad. Author is Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lecter. This book published on 1st April 2000. Publisher is Warner Book Edition. Genre of book is personal finance, business, investing. Total number of pages are 207. The cover page has a picture of Robert Kiyosaki, the author. ISBN number is 0446 67745 0. Total there are five characters in this book: Rich Dad, Poor Dad. First is Robert Kiyosaki. Second is Poor Dad. Third is Rich Dad. Fourth Mike, and fifth Mrs. Martin. The summary of book. Robert Kiyosaki tells the story of his two dads in his childhood, his own father and the father of his best friend. While he loved both, they were very different when it came to dealing with finance. We let the two main emotions everyone has around money dominates our decision: fear and greed. That's why we still stick to the outdated mantra: go to school, go to college, get a job, play it safe. When in reality, no job is safe anymore. For example, when you get a raise at your job, a wise choice would be to invest the extra money in something that builds wealth like stock or bonds, which has medium to high risk but also a very high reward. Maybe you find a good fund with a 60% chance to double your money within a year, but a 40% chance of losing it all. However, most likely you fear of losing the money altogether at a time. Look around and you will see plenty of financial ignorant people on your own life. Just take a look at local politicians. Is there any city in debt? Your mayor might be a great, but unfortunately, no one ever taught him how to deal with money. Next, adopt the mindset of work to learn instead of work to earn. Take a job in a field you have no clue about, such as sales, customer service, or communication, to develop new skills. You never know what they might be good for their own. The first step towards building wealth in the mindset of managing risk. Use your money to acquire assets of liabilities. Assets are stocks, bonds, real estate that you rent out, royalties, and anything that generates money and increase in value over time. Liabilities can be cars or electronics with maintenance cost and monthly payments, a house with a mortgage, and of course debt, basically anything that takes money out of your pocket each month. The most important thing is that you start today. You are your own biggest asset. So the first thing, you should put some money into in yourself. My views regarding this book is the major character is Robert Kiyosaki and minor character is Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki is my favorite character because he is the spectator who learns lessons from both but internalize only Rich Dad's traits. In this book, a very good example that inspired me a lot, that is, we have to take a loan for buying new house. So after buying, we give that house to rent, and from that rent we can pay our debt of loan, and also we can make more money by investing. My personal opinions is I read a book and I love it. I felt a little heartbroken when I found that most of the story is made up and there's no so much criticism about Robert and the book. One sentence we understood from book is an assist is something that puts money in my pocket and a liability is something that takes money out of my pocket. I like Robert's rich dad principle, that is KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Recommendations are I recommend this book especially for beginning entrepreneurs. In my opinion, many topics he discussed for hold the test of time, but take some of what Robert Kiyosaki says with a grain of salt. It should be read, if not for the motivation, just to get think differently that a salarized employee. I will give 4.5 star out of 5 star to this book because it taught us that in our life money is not everything. We have to learn that how to make money, not money makers. And I really like this sentence in this book is don't run behind money, but do what that money comes behind you. Thank you.
Thank you, Yash. That was quite a good use of paralanguage, pauses happening at appropriate places. That was very well done. Right? Nicely done. Next, we have got 106, Naisargi.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, you are visible and audible. I can see the PPT.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Naishargi, and my book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. The publisher are the HarperCollins Publishers. The edition is the 25th anniversary special edition, and the book was first published in 1993. This is a bit about the book. The genre is the fantasy. It's a fantasy and adventure fiction. It was e-published in January 2015. The ISBN number of pages, weight and dimension as mentioned. Yeah, the cover page. The cover page of the novel has bright reddish orange eye-catching color, as everyone can see. Since it's an adventurous fiction, the cover page also depicts some pyramids at the corner where the actual treasure is hidden. And there are also some birds at the topmost corner, which depicts the ownums described in the book. This is my favorite quote, I would say. There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve. That is the fear of failure. Next is the summary. This story is about an Andalusian shepherd named Santiago who travels from his native soil in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a person who calls himself the king, the Englishman, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest. No one knows what the treasure was, or if Santiago was ready enough to surmount the obstacles in his path. But what's but what started as a journey to seek out worldly possessions turns into a discovery of treasure found within. Lush, evocative, and deeply human, the story of Santiago is an endless testament to the reworking power of our dreams and therefore the importance of taking note to our hearts. These are the characters. Santiago. Santiago is the protagonist of The Alchemist, an adventurous young shepherd from Andalusia, determined to fulfill his personal legends, which is to find treasure at the foothills of the Egyptian pyramids. Next is the Santiago's father, a kindly but from an unadventurous family man who hoped Santiago would become a priest, but gives his blessings to Santiago for becoming a shepherd. Next is the merchant, a merchant who buys wool from Santiago on a yearly basis. He worries how about not being cheated, so he demands that any of the wool he buys from the shepherd should be shared in the presence of him. Next is the merchant's daughter, the beautiful and raven-haired intelligent daughter of merchant who buys wool from the Santiago. The gypsy woman, she interprets his recurring dream about the pyramids as the sign of Santiago should travel to the place and seek his great treasure. Malchidus, the king of Salem, or say the old wise man, who possessed magical powers and thus advises Santiago to pursue his dreams. The crystal merchant, a struggling merchant who owns a crystal shop on the top of desolate hill. His shop was once popular, but now lost much of its business as Tangier lost her status as the Egypt's premier port town. He is a good-hearted devout Muslim, but has a creeping fear of change. He gives Santiago a job in Tangier after he has been robbed. The Englishman. Santiago meets the Englishman, a well-educated student on the caravan to Alfoyam, who determined to learn the secrets of alchemy by learning from the true alchemist. He is a skeptic and loves reading books. The caravan leader, the camel driver, the tribal chieftain of the Alfoyam are some of the short displayed characters. Fatima. Santiago meets a gorgeous girl named Fatima, who was a desert woman who lives at the Alfoyam oasis with whom he immediately falls in love. Last but not the least, the alchemist, a 200-year-old, extremely powerful alchemist residing in the Alfoyam oasis. He dresses in the black, rides a white horse, and carries a scimitar. He often speaks cryptically, but he understands the soul of the world and the importance of personal legend. My favorite character. Santiago was my favorite character as he was the protagonist of the story. Santiago was a curious boy with open mind that makes him particularly suited to find his treasure in the Egypt. He also values his freedom very highly, which is why he became a shepherd. He also has enough courage to follow his dreams, so he gives up everything. Furthermore, every bad circumstance and situation to him and the people he meets, he doesn't let it sway his dream and goals of finding the treasure in the Egypt. His attitude and perseverance in life are similar to mine, which makes him my favorite character. My favorite part. This is a passage from the book wherein it says, everyone when they are young, what their destiny knows what their destiny is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn from everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their dream. I love this part. It's true that for many of us, the world seems much easier when we are kids. We don't second guess ourselves or sit around worrying about our destiny. We do the items that gives us joy and are constantly interested in the world. Dreaming doesn't scare us at that point. It's a shame that a lot of this is lost when we grow up. These are some of the questions, or short questions, I would say. Uh, Next is the rating and the recommendations. I would rate this book 4 out of 5. Since at times it goes quite boring, I would say, but overall it was too good. It has some of my favorite parts, like if you want something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve it. Muktab, it means it's all written. It's the possibility of having a dream comes true that makes the life interesting. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. We strive to become better than we are. Everything around us becomes better too. The simple things are also most extraordinary things, and the only wise man can see them. Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own life. I would say the most important thing. Remember that whenever your heart is, there you will surely find a treasure. This book is a guide as to how to overcome problems in a life, how to live in a better way. Trust your instincts, and lastly, always follow your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Naisargi. Yet again, I would appreciate the way you used paralinguistics. We could actually visualize you standing and pointing your hand out, as if it is done in the class. So that's what it is all about when we are doing it virtually, right? You have to be heard not only through your ears, but through your eyes. The person should visualize it. So that was very nicely done. uh, Even the PPT, even in Yash's case, I like the way he had given a little animation to the PPT. You can see the person is trying to work out. Okay, so I appreciate the way you did your presentation, Nisargi. Now the last person we have with us is 102 Poojan. Poojan, are we there? You're out of station for the next 4 5 days. From today, will you be able to do your presentation? Fine, no problem. Thank you for informing us that. Will you be able to do it in the next lab? Yeah, I understand. So next lab, right? So uh, as of now, because there are less number of people, we are already done with our presentation, and we're not planning to do anything new this week. What you can do is, I suppose, for this lab session, we have not discussed much of the case studies, right? So you can still go through the case study, but we'll not continue along with the session because we're already done with it. People who are absent, a few of them have already messaged me why they are not there, and it's done. But I think this enrollment number 134 and 144, these are the two people who are constantly not there. Right. So in case there is some problem, ask them to contact me because this thing carries marks. One. Two, I hope you have all completed your Coursera course and have uploaded the certificate. In case you have not, please do it at the earliest. For that also we have marks. Right. Remember, we are moving towards the end of the syllabus. So please make sure you complete work on time so that whatever marks are there can be given to you. Right. In case you have not done it, kindly complete it. Right. So we'll call it a day over here today. We call it a day today.